The thief who loved me. Karakusa Sangoro was a thief, an unusual thief. He didn't steal money nor jewels that were generally thought valuable. He stole the best treasure of each person. It had always existed, so it was forgotten to be the best treasure. When Sangoro was not famous yet, people talked carelessly. A funny thief, isn't he? I do want him to steal my treasure so that I can realize my best treasure, and so on. Mr. Richest, a world-famous millionaire, was one of careless people. He said with his flabby cheeks shaking. What is my forgotten best treasure that always exists? Perhaps it is money. I have too much money. I forget which bank's keeping my money and how much they keep. One morning, as always, he wore an expensive jacket, and put one hand in his pocket to wind old watch spring. But there wasn't a watch but a small Karakusa designed card. It said with black ink, I stole your best treasure. Karakusa Sangoro. Mr. Richest had his watch stolen that great-grandfather had given him. His heart got a big hole, and cold wind blew in. He couldn't concentrate on work at all. Even if he ate a wonderful feast, he never felt its taste. He had the watch always at his hand from childhood, so he had completely forgotten that it was the best treasure for him. Mr. Richest bought watches of the same form from all over the world. But they didn't have scratches and dents that the original watch had, and tic-tac sounds were different. Then he hired watch craftsmen of several thousands and had them make a totally same watch. Showing old photographs and giving recorded tic-tac sounds, the completions were totally same. But they were different after all. They didn't have warmth of great-grandfather which the original watch had kept. Of course he didn't leave the original watch stolen. To take it back, besides hundreds of detectives, he hired thousands of jobless people, even thieves as detectives regardless of expenses. But he never heard good news. His money that seemed to be a big mountain became smaller and smaller and at last nothing remained with him but a small cabin standing on a corner of the great estate. From this affair, the name of Karakusa Sangoro became known throughout the world. I can't guard my treasure which I can't realize as the best treasure. When I realize what is my best treasure, it's too late. I have it stolen. All the people feared the thief, Karakusa Sangoro. By the way, on a small island somewhere in Japan, there lived a little girl named Mo-chan, very cute girl who loved marshmallow pies. She knew a serious secret of her tender father who adopted Mo-chan from an orphanage, when she was a baby. I know father's another name. When she was exploring father's room, she knew the secret. Creeping under father's desk, she incidentally found a strange box hidden. Opening it, she saw many small Karakusa-designed cards, very famous on TV news. Father's name is Hiroshi Ito. But another name is Karakusa Sangoro. Mo-chan had a big question that she was eager to know. One day she put a letter in the mailbox at the seashore. Dear Mr. Karakusa Sangoro, what will you steal from yourself? A little girl. From the next day on, father shut himself up in his room. Mo-chan heard father's groaning through the door. I can't figure what I should steal from myself. Mo-chan became anxious. Father can't figure his best treasure, and will become sick from nervous breakdown. So she wrote another letter, slided it quietly into the bottom of the door. Dear Mr. Karakusa Sangoro, please don't think of stealing your treasure moreover. A little girl again. But the groaning was going on, and the voice became weak gradually. What a bad thing I did. Mo-chan reflected on her thoughtless behavior and decided to take action for father. I help father find out his best treasure. Surely it must be there, inside the cave at the mountainside where father took me once. Though I don't remember clearly, there was a wonderful room in the depths of the cave. Various things in glass cases glittered like jewels there by candlelight. What room is here? Seems like a museum. Mo-chan asked. My treasure room. Father answered. Long years ago, in a desperate accident, I lost all my family, and my heart became empty. I remembered the voice of Mother. Your treasure will fly away into the cave, if you do bad thing. I was very mischievous. So I thought my treasure must be here. But nothing was here. I thought one thing and another, and began bringing various things here. And then, it seems to get well. My heart has been warmed gradually. I'm sure that things in that glass case are treasures of other persons. And there must be one thing which has become Father's best treasure. Mo-chan left home for the cave with a camera and a flashlight. She was going to show Father the picture of his treasure place. Father will find out his best treasure in the picture. She went around the island and climbed the mountain, pushed bushes aside and arrived at the cave when the sky grew dark. Please increase light, and lead me to Father's treasure room. Praying to the flashlight, she entered the cave. The way of cave became wider and narrower through rocks, and parted, led to depth. How long was she walking on earth? She didn't arrive at Father's treasure room. Before long, the battery of flashlight had gone, and the area blacked out. She couldn't figure out where she was, couldn't see her hands even. She got lost in the cave, and couldn't go back nor go ahead. I can't help Father, her teardrop sounded in the silent darkness. Then a glare came in. Here I am. Karakusa Sangoro. After all, my best treasure has flown here. Well, I steal my best treasure. Hearing a familiar voice, Mo-chan was taken up in someone's arms. When Mo-chan found herself, she was on her bed. Father snoring beside her, sometimes mumbling happily. Who stole my best treasure? Oh, I'm sorry, it's me. After a while, surprised cheering voices arose all over the world. The stolen things began to be sent back to their owners. Mr. Richest wore the watch, stroking dearly with his cheek. He lived a poor life in a small cabin, but his face seemed to be happier than before. Karakusa Sangoro had disappeared. Possibly his heart might not be empty, and he didn't need to work as a thief anymore. And what happened to Mo-chan? When she woke up in a morning, she found herself surrounded by strange things. She lay in a small bed like dwarfs, not in her familiar big bed. A picture of a baby that she had watched somewhere was hung on the wall. She couldn't hear the sounds of waves that she had heard all the time, but buzz sounds of running cars instead. There seemed to be a bustling town. Where am I? When she got out of a tender blanket, the door was opened, a woman came into the room. The woman got white and blue, eyes wide opened, and screamed. Our child has returned. Oh, Mo-chan was one of the treasures that were stolen by Karakusa Sangoro. Mother and her true father were absorbed in work, and left their baby with grandmother. They felt relieved and completely forgotten what was the best treasure. There Karakusa Sangoro had come in. Father, Mr. Sangoro. Hugged by parents, she continued weeping for Sangoro. Thank you, my best treasure. The time with you is my best treasure. Karakusa Sangoro. There was a Karakusa-designed small card written with tear-stained letters on the floor. Time proceeds without being stopped by anyone. The moon moves around the earth. The earth moves around the sun. One memory weakens its color, and a new bright memory is born. You may have a memory printed deeply on your mind. If it is wonderful, you could display it in a beautiful frame. You could also take a picnic with it in a basket. Of course, you could keep it in your heart gently. By the way, on a small island somewhere in Japan, a mysterious shop opened, and called Reputation. Nobody knew who ran it, but the shop's number was on telephone books. Mind treasure finder. If you miss your best treasure, please call me. I will find it out. The number is 41 3560 552 #. One day a young journalist came to the shop. A very beautiful lady. Is here, master? She knocked at the door and called out. Yes, I'm the master of this shop. Gently smiling, an old man came out. He looked very healthy with a straight back, and even possible to steal into others' houses. Would you tell me about your precious experiences at work? Sure, what kind of experience do you want to hear about? They got to their seats. On the table, there were lots of marshmallow pies piled up in the rattan basket, which the lady had loved so much. And